Hello, Rosemary Swanson here. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. It is March 28th, 2016, and this is another presentation for Akashic Presence. My name's Rosemary Swanson, and I'm CEO of Divine Manifestation, and I am a certified consultant and teacher for Akashic Records, and one of the co-managers of Akashic Record Consultants International.
And I'm Wendy Sue Wall Within Integral Healing, and I'm also a teacher and consultant through Akashic Record Consultants International. Rosemary, we welcome you here today. Rosemary, would you please call in the light?
Certainly, Wendy Sue. Wendy Sue and I have already opened the Akashic Records for Akashic Presence, but we would like to call in the light in order to bring everybody else that will be listening to this into the energy field. So if you just close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Give yourself permission to sink down into your physical body. As we call in the grace and the love and the presence of the Creator, of the divinity, of all that there is. And just give yourself permission to allow yourself to be surrounded, embraced by this pure unconditional love of the Akashic Records that allow you to be uplifted, allow you to begin to recognize your own truth. Thank you. Sweet. So today we would like to discuss receivership. So in going into the records, I received that a definition for receivership is being open to all. That which you hold within you is indeed what you will receive. So Wendy Sue, what did you get?
What the record keepers told me was that it's a genuine availability for the questions to arise, for the answers to be made clear, and the path through to have a clear, easy, gentle, graceful conclusion.
Good.
Next step.
There is often a lot of times a lot of confusion around receivership. So today the records would like to bring an unweaving of the miasms, so to speak, the distortions around receivership. So they've given us 3 different components for receivership. So the first component is around clarity of what you want to receive. And oftentimes we stumble through life really not knowing what we want. And we're being asked to take time and go within, do journaling, and find out what it is you exactly want to receive. And to look at how receiving it will affect your life. You want to talk a little bit about that, Wendy Sue?
Well, yes, I'd love to. Thank you. One of the things that I've been told in my own processes is that if I have a fear about who will I be when I let this go, or if I have a fear of what it will cost me if something comes to me, no matter how hard I desire it or how deeply I desire it, that my ego will throw up the wall to keep me from fully being in alignment with that or receiving that. So having my will align with my heart and my true desires, and then bringing spirit into that is important, and my mind and spirit, the whole movement. So I know for myself that I have a very strong will, and oftentimes my subconscious is holding the rest of me hostage as I'm trying to wind my way through any resistance that I have. So you can work in your journaling with yourself or with spirit to find out an affirmation or something that will help you bring yourself into alignment so that your receivership is full and expansive.
That's really good. So be aware of those steps that Wendy Sue just spoke about. And that is, give yourself time, get a journal, take the time and go in and get the clarity. And to do that, you go into your heart. And when we talk about going into your heart, we're talking about going beyond the third dimensional level physical heart and going into the sacredness within you first. Allow that sacredness to connect with your will, and that's your heart and your solar plex, and allow them to almost become one. We typically in the past, we lived through our lower three chakras, our tribal, the sexual or creative, and then the will. And what we're being asked to do to move into this higher level of receivership is to bring the solar plex up and allow it to become one with the heart and merge with the heart. And once you feel that, and you do it by setting your intention and go into the feeling of it. And when you go into that feeling of it and go into your sacredness, your sacred heart, then you ask to connect with your own higher self or your source. Whatever that label may be, it's the label of what you're connecting to isn't important. The only thing that is important is that you're connecting to your own divinity. And once you've connected to your own divinity, then connect to source. And that is part of being in that space that will gift you the ability of your clarity. So that's the way to get to the clarity.
And I'm also hearing, Rosemary, we mentioned about the self-connection and about the journaling. Please don't forget those people or those partnerships or those relationships that you hold dear and that you trust, because we don't have to do this work all ourselves. We can learn how to be clear with other people so that we can learn how to be more clear with ourselves, and that no man is an island. So we're connecting to source and also building a level of trust with the people that are in our lives.
Yeah.
And that is a definite part of the clarity and the receivership, is knowing that we don't have to do it all ourselves.
Yes, definitely. It's makes me think of one of the classes I took in the past called Esoteric Healing. And it's when you work with somebody, you connect in with your heart, and then you connect to source or creator. And then you connect with a person's heart that you're going to be working on and connect them with source. So you create that trinity. So thank you for bringing that to mind, Wendy Sue.
Beautiful. So what about divine timing? What about so we have our clarity, and then if you're like me, shoulders down and forward, okay, I'm going to act because now I know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
What about the inhale and allowing the expansiveness and the course correction and the divine timing to come forward? Where does that fit in?
Well, that would be your next step, because what happens is we get literally hunkered down and go into that impatience. I want it now, or with me, I want it yesterday. I mean, now's not even good enough. So it's learning to go into the patience and go into that fluidity and that way of being. The records say it's not about waiting, because if you're waiting, what that makes me think of is standing in line, tapping your feet, waiting. It's about the allowingness of it. It's about just opening, feeling the movement, knowing that your clarity is pure, and just allowing the flow to come into you. If you're feeling like you're moving in a flow, then you know you've got it.
Beautiful. So what about course correction? So we're in the flow now, and I know what it is that I want, and I've been told the process of getting that. How do I know that if I'm getting off track for what it is that I'm truly open to receive?
Well, that's one of the dynamics of receivership, and it goes into the definition that they gave me before. You receive what you hold within you. And
Mm.
so the course corrections is about if if you're in that flow of the universe, if you're in the fluidity, it feels good. When you allow the outside world or the ego or the personality to pull you out of it, then it no longer feels good. So you can have that as a road sign, so to speak. If you're starting to not feel good, then you've moved out of the flow. So that's how you course correct. You start being really fine tuning and honing your skills to see what's there. What am I holding? Is it a fear? So if you're looking at wanting to create health and the fear you're holding is around dying or around the aging process, then what you're going to do is you're going to receive that fear because it's so strong within you. So part of the process is just allow it to come up and thank it and go bye-bye and send it on its way. It literally can, if you choose not to attach to it. But we have to really clear the emotions and be willing to not be attached to whatever comes up, and be in that constant feel good space. Okay, the thought is, but it's not here yet. And the going to back into the, what can you say that will feel good to yourself, and go back into those feel good statements until you move back into that symbiotic relationship with the universe again. That's one of the major keys, is staying in that symbiotic relationship. And that symbiotic means there's no barrier. It's like a membrane, and the energy can flow in and out of it equally. And that's what they're asking us to do.
Beautiful. So what they're reminding me of is that my ego and my spirit walk side by side. And as you mentioned before we got on the call, that stutter step, we're in the flow or the stutter step. So they're showing me that again. And then there's another piece that I'm hearing from the Akashic record keepers, is that it's important that we have an awareness as we're moving towards that conclusion of what it is we're currently working with, to release any expectations that we have about what it looks like.
Yes.
To allow the miracle, the surprise, to come forward. That which we don't know to be possible as well.
Yes. It's the awareness that humans really don't know what it's all about. Some of us may think we do, but we really don't. So when we ask for something, if we ask for this or greater, what is in my highest good? I am open to receive in this moment whatever it is in my highest good. And then you'll be in a balanced state.
So is there a prayer or a saying that you say specifically to bring yourself into alignment with your highest good? Or can the record keepers give us something?
Mm.
Well, they're saying, of course, we can give you something. So will you bring through what they're saying, Rosemary?
Okay. Well, first it goes back to the tapping into you, and the tapping into your sacredness, and simply in meditation or prayer, whatever works best with you, the way I do it, the way the masters are giving it to me to do, is to go into my physical heart. So I just take a couple of deep breaths. And when I breathe in, I pause just for like a count of 4. And then I release the breath, hold it for the count of 4, and breathe back in. And I do that a couple of times. That tends to move me into my body and move me out of the chaos of the outside world. When I do that, I go into my heart and feel the life force flowing there. And then I ask permission to go into my sacred heart. And once I've moved into my sacred heart, I call my higher self or my soul self to come into the sacred heart within me. And it's all about feeling. Just feel the energy of it. Experience it. And once I've done that, then I ask to move into my 5th dimensional sacred heart. You don't even have to know what that means. It's a higher vibrational, it's a pure vibrational place of being in your own sacred divinity. And then I give gratitude for that. And then I ask to connect to Source, to the creator of all that there is. When I've moved into that connection, and you'll feel it. Imagine the feeling of it. If you don't go into the analytical aspect of it, just imagine it. And you set your intention. And as you set your intention, I always ask for this or greater, that it be thy will be done, not my will. And that I am open to receive to the highest level that is possible for me in the moment. Trusting that whatever that is, divinity knows far greater than I do. And then I hold the space. And I give gratitude. I give thanks. And I give gratitude for what I already have, whatever it is, in my life in the moment that I'm focusing on. It's a very deep place of reverence for me. So that's the process I go through.
Well,
that they've given.
And what I noticed for me is I had a felt sense of being in my heart and then moving up, like almost like a step down inside, and then
Yes.
the connection felt like it went down into my bottom where it's meeting the chair, and then up. It was very noticeable from here up to my head, and then here, and then it felt expansive through my whole body and out. So I felt like I was in a column of light that was quiet. And this is my
Yes.
experience with what you just did. and I feel more settled.
Yeah, that's the key of it. It's the experiential part of it, Wendy Sue.
Yes.
It's don't go into the analytical mindset, oh my God, I got to do this, this, and this is difficult. After you've done it a couple of times, it just becomes simple and easy, and you just go through the process, and it'll take you less than 1 minute to go through the whole thing.
So as a part of receivership, as we start to come into closure, it's important that we understand what we want and what we desire, that we're available for it,
Yeah.
that we're available for the clarity of the questions, the answers, and then the path, that we course correct, and that we have this place of connecting that allows that column of light to move up and down or back and around, or in a tube torus fashion is what they're showing me, so that all of us is in the flow. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, what's coming through the records very clearly is they're saying, please, 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 please stay out of judgment. We tend to beat ourselves up. We tend to question ourselves and doubt ourselves. And they're really asking that if people take this process to heart and go step by step until it becomes part of them, and just trust. Just trust. Don't judge outcome. As Wendy Sue said earlier, move out of the, it's got to look a certain way, because we really don't know what that's supposed to be. And that's one of the reasons why they say go into the feeling of it. Live through the eyes and ears of your divine heart, and all will be well. So thank you.
Thank you. And we ask for divine creation to walk with you and surround you with the Akashic presence as you move towards your authenticity in an experiential way, which brings you peace and grace. So, Rosemary, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close?
I just would like to thank you, Wendy Sue, for sharing this time with me, and I hope that our audience really received a lot from it. And if they're interested, please leave comments below. There is a place on YouTube for comments. And also, if you would like to get in touch with us and give us some ideas for topics that you'd like us to go into the records with or for, we would be more than happy to do that. And you can do that by going to akashicpresence@gmail.com to email us. And if you look on our screen under our name is our web address, www.rosemarieswanson.com. My email is rosemary@rosemarieswanson.com. And Wendy Sue, you want to give them your information?
Yes, I'm at www.within-view.com, and it's withinview@gmail.com. And I would like to close the records with extreme gratitude from the alignment of my heart in receivership for all that is in my best and highest good, your best and highest good, Rosemary, and those of our listeners. So we thank the Lords, Masters, teachers, and loved ones for the information that's been given here. And the records are now closed. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, Wendy Sue. Much love to everyone. Till next time.
Be well.